Welcome back to our Cedar Hill campout. This area was first settled back in the 1850s, and local farmsteader John Penn's original farm is still available here at the park for viewing by the public. So let's go take a tour and learn a little bit about the local area history. Inside Cedar Hill State Park is a doorway to the past and a look at a time that was both simpler and yet more difficult.
The Penn farm is a farm that's over 100 years old, and the Penns were the original family, and they lived here from the 1859 until the 1970s, and they were mostly a cattle ranching operation. And the same family lived here, which makes it a unique place. Most farms usually are sold from family to family.
The Penn farm is open daily for self-guided tours, and guided tours are frequently offered as well.
And so we're going to head that direction. We'll just head right on in.
Unlike most of the area's settlers, the Penn family were primarily cattle ranchers, which created unique challenges when they first arrived.
This is the first barn that was built on the property. It was built in 1859. And what makes it unusual is that it was built at the same time as the house. Why would someone build a barn before they build their house? Yeah, they would. They'd keep their animals and stuff. In fact, they would live in the barn with the animals. Now, they'd probably build a wall or something like that, but they would make sure that their animals were safe before they built their house. But to have both of them built so close together in the same time was kind of unusual. When you go on in, you're going to notice the logs are all hand-hewn. They're all fit together with the V-notch. This is all the tack that you see over here. There's one of our volunteers. We do have a lot of volunteers here at the park. A lot of them are camp hosts that live here at the park, and in exchange for a campsite, they do work at the park. And one of our ladies taking the tack from the horses and polishing it back up. We're going to take it and kind of display it. This was all used by the Penn family. From what I understand, Andy Penn, who was the last person who lived here, did not like technology. He didn't really want too much to do with the technological crowd. So those of you who don't like computers, you weren't alone even back then.
The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department takes great care in the restoration process to provide both historical accuracy and a pleasant visiting experience.
And just for your information, if you look up here on the top of our roof here, and actually any of the buildings that we have now, newer buildings, they're painted this bluish, like almost like a robin's color egg. And it tends to keep away the mud daubers and the wasps.
The restoration and upkeep of these buildings helps to better illustrate the struggles of farm life. Structures like this storm shelter show how the Penns dealt with some of their natural hardships.
A lot of the times people think, well, you know, storm shelter, why does it have this big cone like this? Well, you have to think about where the people came from. They came from the north, came from Illinois. And so when their trade up there when they built these was to build them, so if they did have a snowstorm, they would be able to find them.
Coming from the north, the Penns had to make a few adjustments to live in Texas. And for William Penn, getting his family here was no short trip.
Well, the Penns came from Illinois, and John Penn Sr., he came down here first to kind of check the place out to see what it was doing. Then from there, he went out to California for the gold rush. When he was out in California, he must have done fairly well because he came back, and that's when he bought the land. Then he went back up to Illinois to get his family. So he kind of had things all in order before he came down here. And he came down here with his family and about 6 other families back in 1859.
After long travels and a lot of hard work, the Penn family maintained a successful farm that lasted over a century and left behind a legacy that today's families can enjoy year-round.